This is an event that's being sponsored by the Delaware State Bar Association, and the purpose of the event is to draft wills for three different segments, very deserving folks in three different segments. One is the for heroes, that would be the police, fire, for seniors, and for veterans. The folks there will be able to handle issues on the fly. They'll be able to draft your will in its entirety. The will then be witnessed and notarized after you sign it. And so you'll walk out the door with a complete enforceable will. So theoretically, you could walk out the door with a will, a living will, advanced health care directive, and a power of attorney that day, all free of charge. You know, I would say that for maybe perhaps older veterans, Vietnam, Korean veterans, World War II, I don't know if there was the accessibility to legal assistance and wills, powers of attorney, and living wills as there is today. And so I think for that age group there may be more of a need than in the younger age groups. I mean, the folks that are veterans of Iraq and Afghanistan, for example, all had numerous opportunities when they were deployed to obtain a will. Now, having said that, every time you have a significant change in your life circumstances, if you are divorced, remarried, new children, you probably want to take a look at your will and make revisions. So even folks that are recent veterans of Iraq and Afghanistan, if you've had a significant change in your life circumstances, you're advised to take a good look at that. If you don't have a will, when you pass away, then your property will then be distributed pursuant to the intestacy statutes of the state where you're domiciled at the time of death. So, for example, if you live in Delaware and at the time of your death here and you're domiciled here, then Delaware's intestacy statute would govern how your property is distributed. Generally, those intestacy statutes refer to like half would go to the spouse. If you have children, half would go to the children. If you have no spouse, no children, then they look to your parents. If you have no spouse, no children, no parents, they start looking to siblings. So if you do not like those defaults and you have property, then that would be a reason to get a will. Another reason to get a will is if you have children. If both you or your spouse decease, you're going to need to name guardians. If both you and your spouse decease, you're going to also need a trustee, someone to manage your estate or to manage your property that gets from your estate. It goes into a trust for the benefit of your children, and we can help you set up that trust. And the trust can often be funded at the time, even if you have no property, through life insurance, and go into the trust. You name the trustee then manages the trust for the benefit of the children, and then you can also name a guardian who would actually take care of the children. If you are incapacitated without a living will or advanced health care directive, then you really leave it up to the medical profession as well as someone who is authorized to speak on your behalf as to the health care needs. There's been a lot of questions about, are we going to do this again in other parts of Delaware, for example, in Sussex County? And the answer I think the answer is yes. I mean, especially depending on the turnout here. But there's been a lot of interest expressed to do this same event or to replicate this event in other parts of Delaware. And I think the Bar Association, as well as myself, as well as the representatives who are the leads for the heroes and the seniors, are also receptive to doing this in other parts of the state. Having said that, I would encourage folks from the Dover area to Wilmington to take advantage of this on Saturday if they're available.